Welcome to Karting, and in today's video...
Everyone alright? Yep.
We're at TeamSport Warrington for round 2 of Grid. Now, in round 1 I had to contend with a flat tyre, and I'm currently signed 8th in the heavyweight class. And here's hoping I get better luck with the karts for round 2. So I've qualified 10th of 20, so let's see how the first heat went. Learning lessons from the Sprint Cup the previous week, I cover the inside line as quickly as possible into turn 1. Then around turn 2 though, I hit the kart ahead. So I've lost a couple of positions, but gain one back into turn 3, but it's all about to come unstuck as we hit the Dunlops. I wish I could say this was an uncommon type of crash at Warrington, but it simply isn't. But everyone's okay, and we get up and running again. But just my luck, I am one of the last recovered, so I'm now in 19th with it all to do. I also wish I could say this is the only red flag of the night, but spoilers, I'm going to use a flag counter for the rest of this video. I'm not karting at a members event if I don't have some degree of bad luck, it seems, but if I look on the bright side, maybe I can get some overtakes done. But for now, I'm going to glue myself to the back of the kart ahead. As we finish lap 1, the kid in the white looks to have sealed the place ahead, but kart 25 has stuck himself on the inside of 2 to take the place back. We then all just sort of jostle about a bit and end up in the same position as we started in. And then I yield under the Dunlops because I'm not an idiot and I don't want to see a reenactment of the crash from lap 1. As we hit Century, he thinks about a move, but he has to throw out the anchors. I'm starting to think the guys ahead are holding us up, so we need to lead them pretty sharpish. After some bumping and grinding, kart 40 is slow out of the final corner. The kid gets past him on the straight, so I line up a move going into turn 1. Now I just need to keep it tidy around 1 and we're golden. As we get to 2, this guy has gotten it all wrong, making it easy for me. But I've just got to hope he doesn't just spear me into 3, which is always a worry around that corner. Lap 4 now, and the kid has gotten the jump on the guy ahead, so if I want to keep up, I'll need to make a move too. So I'm going to use this lap to get as close as possible, then maybe by turn 1 we'll be able to bust a move. On the exit before the down ramp, I spot a gap, but it is a no-go. It's best I slot in now and look for the dive bomb into 1. It looks like his defence was to go as fast into the corner as he could. That leaves him a little vulnerable into 2, so I throw it in and I think I've got the job done. A bump with the barrier means his switchback goes off perfectly, and fair play to the fella. We're side by side under the Dunlops. If I keep as close to his bumper as possible, mash the boost and wait for him to go wide into Century, it should be job done. Time to catch the kid. Now we've skipped a lap and we've caught up to some of the guys ahead. All around the upstairs, we're a little kart train, so at the end of the straight, a move must be... Oh, no. Flags are out. And it seems the kid's not happy, or is he... What?
It's like he's trying to speak to me, I know it!
Well, that's a new one on me. You got it, kid, you're the boss. But now I need to make sure I keep up. And I think maybe he thinks I'm faster than I am, but let's give it a go. Up ahead, we're about to see what having no awareness around you can do. The purple guy goes wide out of Met Bay, so the kid has the inside, and what do you think happens next? Another yellow, and this guy thinks about being a bit cheeky, but he does slot in behind. Now, I don't know about you, but I think the kid had every right to the apex, just that the other guy wasn't aware of him. I also think the kid got a penalty, so a bit harsh, I reckon. Now, we're near the end of the heat, so all I need to do is just try and stick where I am and see it out. With that in mind, we'll skip another lap, and you can see that we're catching a couple of guys up ahead. But unfortunately, that is the end of the heat. Another lap or two, and I might have finished a place or two higher up, but recovering from 15th and being 19th after the crash on lap 1 is damage limitation, so roll on heat 2. I swear, as much as actual talent does come into karting, you've also got to have a lot of luck on your side as well, after I get loaded around turn 1. And obviously it's lap 1, so here comes the flags. Now this was a bit of a tough one to gauge on track, but I thought maybe I overtook this guy on yellow, so I didn't mind so much he goes ahead, but on watching this back, I don't know. It's done anyway, so we'll crack on. Starting 6th and knowing that the guys ahead finished behind me in the last heat, I was hoping to move up quickly. But the spin at the start put a stop to that. Once again, we're out of position from events not entirely in our own control, but we'll try and make some headway. By the end of the lap, I'm not close enough to make a move, but someone has had a spin in turn 1, which inevitably brings out the other flags. And as you can see, I'm thinking if I can sneakily get ahead of this guy. I don't. The guy in red in front takes a really weird line into this left, which confuses Kart 9, but I am able to sneak through in 7th, so sorry fella. I make up some ground to the guys ahead on the up ramp, but inevitably the second red flag of the night comes out. Let's skip ahead. And we are green again, but up ahead, another spin brings out yellow flags. And this one does me in first. Let me just rewind something. I don't know where this guy in red thought he was going. Comes across me, then bashes into Mr. Red Bull here, forcing me into the back of him, which throws me out wide, allowing this gent in. What? This guy on the right of me is Sai, one of the top heavyweights. He's about to teach me a lesson in restarts. He moves ahead of me, but he pulls back slightly just before the green, which is very clever. So now, he's on the inside as we go into Century. And remember, I'm no idiot. Also, I thought, because I then dive to the inside, it doesn't come off, so now I'm well out of position, and a train of guys barrels their way through. Remember kids, if you're off the racing line around Warrington, you're going to hemorrhage positions. But lessons learned for the future. Yet another spin around turn 1, and we've got our 7th yellow flag of the night. It's only heat 2. We're back green, and on the approach to Century, we've got a maroon kart. So you know what's coming next. This one was a long one as someone got hurt behind us. We waited so long that Brian behind me reminded me to make sure I was in gear before the yellow. Cheers, man. We eventually finished the lap. It's saying something that the fastest lap of the race so far is over a minute. Now, a couple of the guys ahead leapfrogged this guy in blue, so I need to leap him as well. But no, because he's going to get Mr. Red Bull under the Dunlops. He's gone defensive into century, but I throw it on the inside here and get a nice, clean-ish overtake. We're clawing back position. Now we skipped the lap and now we're on the Monacos. Now of course up to the guy in blue, but also there's a gaggle ahead that we're catching as well. I'm not close enough as we go under century, but I'm thinking about a move into the next left, but have to plough. There's not a move on there. So I need to stick to this guy's bumper as much as I can and look for an opening or see if he makes a mistake. I'm hounding this guy, but then the guy in the snazzy orange helmet waves us through and I assume he had an issue. I've lined up Sentry, but he's gone defensive. And then he's gone defensive again before the up ramp. I have to get this guy. And then, on the approach to turn 1, I'm close enough and... nailed it. And it's a good job because that was the last lap. A shame about the yellow restart, but we made some decent gains afterwards. And I think it's about time I had a lucky kind of race, right? But before we could get going for Heat 3, we all got a bit of a telling off.
Right, quick one, guys. That last race, that's not what I expect from you guys. Okay? Countless amounts of contact, countless amount of incidents, countless reds. We're on our 4th, 5th red of the entire event, and we're 3 races in. That's not what I expect, okay?
So, at the moment, we're on 8 yellows and 3 reds so far. Let's see if things do get better. You just can't make it up, can you? Though, this isn't anyone's fault, I don't think, as one of the guys' carts isn't in gear. I don't think. But we get back underway pretty quick. I use my boost up to turn 1 and look to move, but we have another spin at turn 1 and you guessed it, yellow number 9. On the plus side of things, I'm now in 4, so all this drama has suited me for once. as we get going again, up ahead of me is Brian, a guy I'm duking it out with in the heavyweight class. And if I can make a place on him, then that will help me in the final and then hopefully by the end of the evening for the final standings. But not a lap later, we've got another yellow that quickly turns into a red. Now this guy behind me had been bumping me all the way around the last lap. And looking behind, it's a guy that's not in my class. So it's my turn to try and communicate with him. Clearly, I'm trying to indicate to this guy we'll swap positions and then work together. It's as clear as day, right? No, I know it's not. I'm sorry to this guy. It was awful. But that's what I was trying to do. I wanted him to go ahead. I could follow him and catch up to Brian. So, for better or worse, that's just what I do. I wave him by. I'm thinking I could battle this guy, but what I really want to try is to battle Brian. So the hunt is now on to try and claw 4th place back from Brian and not the guy in the orange. We've skipped a couple of laps. Now the orange guy hasn't dropped us all that much. Brian is being wheeled in. Let's go. Lap 6 and orange clears Brian around turn 2, so it's now a clear track between the two of us. But do I have enough laps to close the gap? We'll just have to wait and see. Another yellow forcing us to the same speed won't help. For those keeping track, that's 10 to yellows and 5 to reds. I think Charlie had a point at the start. While I bash the barriers under yellows because I'm not paying attention to where I'm going. What a knob. I'm getting super close, but another bloody yellow stops play. I know there's not much time left in the session, so all these pauses in racing are harming my pace and potential position for the final. Green again, and we're back up and racing, and I need to use this lap to get as close to Brian as humanly possible to try and make that key move into turn 1. But in the end, it was just so close, but yet so far. It just wasn't enough. It was super fun being on the hunt for once, though.
One more lap! One more lap!
But before we could get underway with the final, we all got hauled into the briefing room so that Charlie could have a little word.
No fighting. Oi! No fighting. No fighting. No fighting. No fighting!
After the telling off, we lined up like good little racers. But first, away from Kyle, who was the first person to recognise me from my channel, and he left with an autograph on his helmet. Cheers, my
Go on,
mate.
mate.
Truly appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Go on, mate. Good luck.
I bash into Brian of all people around turn 2, which bogs me down, but coming together at turn 3 sees me move back up to P9, and the inevitable first lap yellow. But it's not long until we're back up and running again. It's also not long before I start to think that my car has a problem. Whenever I turn right, I'm sliding crazy wide. But when I'm trying to turn left, it feels incredibly loose. It's difficult to describe. I just know that the steering is a bit janky in this car. You'd be forgiven for thinking that slide through the chicane was cold tyres. Maybe this one was, but I've been around the chicane hundreds of times, so I know when something is off. Ahead of me, as we go to red, I've let this guy through because I can feel that something isn't right, and while he stops, I'm checking my steering and checking the tyres, because I know something isn't right. But we'll carry on. I'm just slipping through all the right-handers and it's so frustrating. And I've just realised watching this back that up ahead of me is another heavyweight that I'm battling with in the grid series. It's so super frustrating. Just another example of the slide at turn 1, a corner. I kind of pride myself on taking nice and smooth every time. I did consider retiring the car, but no, that would be grid series suicide. What I need to do is to anticipate what the car is going to do and adjust my driving style. Crack on, lads! Scores on the doors on lap 3 of the final. Yellow flags 13, red flags 6. As we go green, a crazy unlucky restart here as the dude behind me is on the ramp when we go green, so has more speed than me. Mugged into this cave, which is just embarrassing. You win some, you lose some, I guess, but a lesson to take away from this night is to better have my wits about me when we're under yellows. There's been a few times this night, others being a little more switched on have lost me positions. There's not much else to say about the final here. My car seems to stabilise, or my driving style adapted, whatever. So in the background I'm showing my fastest lap from this race, and it all looks pretty stable at this point. A real shame that the first few laps were affected by the kart being less than optimal, but that's rental karting at the end of the day. As you can see, the same dude that overtook me earlier is in front, and there's a massive gap to the guy behind me. So this was a bit of a lonely race. On the plus side, there were no more flags. So 8 laps later, we get to the end of the race, finishing P11. And it was a great night of racing, and once again, I've learned a whole bunch of things to work on with my racecraft. So that's the end of round 2 of Grid. Final results have me in 6th place in the heavyweight division, and I need to up my game considering some of the guys from round 1 weren't here for round 2. But the real winners on the night were those bloody yellow and red flags. Jeez! Thanks for watching Grim.Karting, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And until the next one, have a good one.